Good evening and welcome to another Thursday Night Live with GlenAllachie. My name is Ben Chambers, for those of you that haven't seen me on here before, and I'm the UK Sales Manager for GlenAllachie. And this evening we are going to have something a little bit different. We're going to get our marketing team on for the first sort of 20 minutes for a little bit of a Q&A. And then we're going to bring in our Sales Director David, and we're going to run through a couple of the 2019 wood finishes and a little bit about his background in the industry. And obviously throughout the whole thing, we will be taking lots of your questions. So please, anything that you've got that you want to throw at us, throw it up, and if we can answer, we will. Just very quickly, lovely to see so many names straight away, bang, 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 that I recognize from the last couple of weeks. So hello to everybody. My apologies if we don't get to reply to everybody this evening, but we will do our best. I'm going to bring on Colette and Fiona from our marketing team, who are going to tell us a little bit about some of the upcoming things with GlenAllachie, and go from there. So, introduce Colette.
Hi. Hello.
And Fiona.
Did you throw her back out?
I don't know what.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, there we go. So, Colette, I'll start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your job role and what it is that you do with GlenAllachie?
Yep. Hi guys, I'm Colette. I'm the marketing manager at GlenAllachie. So my job role is very, very varied. We're such a small team. There's only two of us, so it is always hands on deck, all hands on deck, very busy all the time. My job is overseeing all the marketing activity, brand plans, marketing strategy, and the majority of my job is product development. So that is all new products you see in the market is working with them, and it's such a long process from from plastic through to shelf. That is Billy will maybe come to us with a project. He's working on some casks he thinks is worth sharing into the market. And then we work with design agencies on developing concepts, suppliers on dry materials, right through to launch plans to get the product into market and to you guys. So it's a big part of the job, and it's a important part of the job because we want you guys to have product in market. Another part of my job is also managing the visitor centre, so overseeing activity there, trying to get GlenAllachie on the map since we've been around for about a year as a visitor centre, and trying to get as many people as possible once we're allowed again to Scotland and visiting us at GlenAllachie.
And again, I suppose I've got to ask the same question to Fiona. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what it is that you do at GlenAllachie?
Yes, so I'm Fiona and I'm the marketing executive at the GlenAllachie Distillery. So aside from assisting Colette with most of the marketing duties, I am mainly in charge of social media. All of the content that is put out on social media comes from me, so that's across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I also am in charge of the events, so any events that we run from the distillery. We did a legacy day in August with all the past GlenAllachie staff, and I was also in charge of the Spirit of Space side, but that sadly isn't going ahead this year, but hopefully we'll be able to make up for that. I also help out with the website and product development and source all of the POS that we sell in the visitor centre. So as Colette said, we very much share a lot of the activities and we're always kept on our toes, always get busy.
Good. So one of the questions that we've been doing over the last few weeks, I know that both Ronan and Juliet were asked this in previous weeks, is how did you get in the industry? And particularly with GlenAllachie having such a young team, it's quite interesting to hear about how each of us got there. So Colette, over to you. How did you get into the industry?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just seeing some comments coming through that our sound is quite poor. Lots of echoes. I can only apologise. We did test beforehand, but I don't know if it's since we've gone live that something's gone wrong in the background. So I can only apologise. Let's just keep going and hopefully it can clear up. It done so the last time, so here's hoping. Okay, so how I got into the industry. So I started working with Benriach Distillery when I was 18, I think, 17, 18. So I worked part-time while I was studying at university. 4 years, a very varied role. It was working mostly in accounts and then learning single casks, and yeah, it was great because it tied in perfectly with university. Afterwards, I then went on to do a graduate programme with. So I'm just going to jump off those comments. I went on to do a graduate programme with Benriach Distillery, which was 6 months working in every department within the company, which was great. I recommend anyone to do that. I tried to introduce something similar when Fiona came on board at GlenAllachie to learn the entire process, because I think it's important to see how every single area of the business is just as important. So yeah, I love doing that, and I was doing everything from rolling casks to filling casks to labelling bottles. So it was very exciting. And then from there, 6 months went on to work as a marketing executive with Benriach Distillery. So majority of my time spent with Benriach till now, which was great. I decided to take a year out, go travelling. Thought if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. So travelled Australia, New Zealand, Asia for a while. Came back and worked at GlenAllachie. So I've been there from the start, from day one. One of the originals. There was only 7 of us to start with, so it's been a whirlwind so far, and I'm sure it'll continue. Right?
Sorry, it just took a second.
Sorry.
Playing about with mic settings whilst trying to improve the sound quality for everybody. I'm not quite sure what's going on this week. I suppose I've got to throw the same question over to Fiona. So how did you get in the whiskey industry? Being, I think, I might correct me if I'm wrong, the youngest member of the team?
I think so. Yes, so I didn't plan to get into the whisky industry. I started with the company in June 2018 on a graduate programme. So there's a company called Scotgrad who advertise jobs in any industry, and I had graduated university in the summer of 2017. Wasn't very sure what I wanted to do. I do Highland dancing, so I taught Highland dancing for a full year, and then decided it was about time to get a proper job. So started with the company in the June, and we launched the core range in the July. So it was pretty much, thrown straight in at the deep end. But it's been great ever since, pretty much non-stop. My main responsibility was to look after the White Heather project. Considering White Heather is meant to be lucky, we've not had all that much luck with it so far. It keeps getting postponed due to one thing and another, and now with the coronavirus, you couldn't have written that one. But yeah, it's been great fun, and getting to work on lots of different projects. It's been really great introduction to the industry, and it's a really great industry to work for.
So, Fiona first. What's wrong? Sorry, Colette.
No, that's it. I thought I was going to have to tell you to unmute, but you got there.
No. I clicked it a long time before I started speaking, but for some strange reason, it's on a bit of a delay this evening. I will. Yeah, I'll do some thinking for next time. So to Fiona first, as you're working on social media and lots of campaigns coming up, life in lockdown, how's it treating you, and how are you getting through it?
So lockdown came as a bit of shock to all of us, I think. I live just outside of Edinburgh in East Lothian, and normally commute every day to Glasgow. So to be honest, getting to not have to drive the M8 every day is a bit of a treat for me. I can wake up 5 minutes before I need to start work in my spare room, and yeah, I'm liking that side of it. I miss seeing people though. So in terms of lockdown for work, been kept really busy. Social media has blown off the roof. It's been so popular. We're working on loads of initiatives at the moment. You might have seen the other day we advertised the McNair's Mile. So we're trying to encourage everyone in the company and out with the company to try and keep fit and active, following the government guidelines to only leave the house once a day. And we're all trying to get one McNair's Mile done. And if you have a little McNair's miniature, it's great to try and get a wee picture with that. I'm also going to be posting a video next week of a dram around the world. So that is an initiative we are running for World Whisky Day. So you'll see more about that next week. We're obviously doing our Thursday night live tastings, which seem to be going quite popular. We have a competition coming up. It's going to be our first GlenAllachie Facebook competition. So stay tuned for that one. And we're also doing question and answers on Instagram. So we've got lots in the pipeline, lots keeping us busy. Hopefully you're all enjoying what we're doing on social media. Always like to get some feedback. So if there's anything you'd like to have us do, then we're willing to think about it. So yeah.
Right. And I suppose, Colette, same question to yourself. Life in lockdown. How are you getting through it?
Life in lockdown I'm kind of getting used to it. I feel like it's not been too bad. It's given you a chance to do things around the house. It's always been on the to-do list. It's so I've not minded it so far. I've not quite gone insane. But it's definitely took a bit of getting used to it enough. And just probably as we're getting used to it, we'll come out the other end. But in terms of work has been, I mean, there's people obviously being furloughed and things like that, like around the world, and we've been lucky that we don't have, we are full on, especially in marketing. We are just constant. It is not stopped at all. It's the product development from my side of things is still going. It's just maybe slightly delayed because of the virus. But everything's still full on, trying to get things processed. And the social media side of things, assisting Fiona and all that, there's a lot to do for it, so it requires both of us to it's constantly working together. We're on chats all the time, trying to find ways to get information to you guys and keep you guys entertained and keep spirits high. So yeah, it's all right so far. We are just going to have a wee look at some comments coming through. Hold on, I'll just have a wee. So many people jumping in. It's good to see so many familiar names and some new names too. I've seen one there. I can't find it now, but I've seen one there that I thought would pop up about your favourite GlenAllachie. So I'll jump in first. So my favourite GlenAllachie is the.
Yeah, there was a couple of questions I would.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a signal. Yeah. Can you hear me all right? Yeah. I'll jump back in.
There was a couple of questions.
Okay, go. Right, you go then, Ben.
Right, there's a couple of questions coming through there that I just thought I'd jump on. Okay, one of them you were about to answer, which was what's your favourite GlenAllachie? And the other question that we've got coming through from Whisky and Donuts is, what has been the biggest challenge within starting the marketing and social media process as a new distillery? So again, I think I'll throw that to Colette first, and then we'll move and see what Fiona.
What's the biggest challenge with starting the marketing social? Oh, there's so many challenges because you've got. I mean, we were completely unknown 3 years ago. No one had heard of us. We were relatively young. I mean, we were only 50 years old. But as a single malt, we were completely unheard of. So it was a big challenge. And at that time, when we first started back in September, there was only 7 of us. So it was again, all hands on deck, there was everyone doing a bit of marketing, just trying to push the brand out there. Same with social channels. I mean, it is a very difficult task. It just required a lot of word of mouth, talking about it, trying to share as much as possible, getting out into the market, trying to tell people about the brand, getting as many people as possible to try the brand, because we knew how good the spirit was. So it was just getting as many people as possible to try it. So it was a big challenge, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And in terms of my favourite whiskey, for me, it's the 10-year-old cash strength batch release. All of them, love them all, every single one of them. I'd say my favourite is the second batch, and a lot of people clearly agreed because we got a lot of gold medals for that one. So yeah, that would be my favourite one. What about you, Fiona?
My favourite whiskey is probably the 25-year-old. I think I have a bit of expensive taste, but yeah, I would say that was my favourite. There's a question just come through there from someone asking you a question, Colette, and they are asking about the newly released hand fill. It has a very different label and box from the others. Now that leads us quite nicely into a little special reveal we were going to do.
That is perfect timing.
I'll pass that over to you.
That is perfect timing. Yeah, so we have revamped the single cask packaging, as some of you may have seen online. So I'm going to reveal it. I think I'll try and do like a sort of Lion King thing that we tried to do before that Ben failed at, but let's see if we can. Here we go. So here we have our brand new single cask packaging. It's a revamp into what we had before. It was the stone covered carton. So here we have here is a rigid box, right? So we have, still keeping with the stone theme, of course, we like to have our stone in there. I'm just going to open the box to reveal the label. Hold on. So here we have a nice, it's definitely shelf presence. It's bolder, it's punchier, it will certainly stand out. We're really happy with how it's turned out. It was a lot of work went into this. We decided to revamp because we just felt like something new to show just how premium the product inside was. So yeah, there we go. So you will start to see this slowly in the market over the next sort of coming weeks and months. And there is an initiative with the hand fills that Ben and David will tell you more about after here, and they can talk a little bit about it. You'll hear more about that. But yeah, we hope you like the packaging. We certainly do. We're really happy with how it's revamped, and it's a good move, a good move for the range.
I've just noticed another question that is coming from Jeremy Watt, and he's asking if we are as early risers as Billy. So we are. There's something in the office, we call it the early morning club.
Oh yeah.
So, initially started by Lorraine, who works with all of the warehousing and shipping, and well, Lorraine starts the earliest. She normally is in around 6:30. And now that I'm travelling through from Edinburgh, to try and miss the traffic, I get into the office about 7 o'clock, and sometimes Colette's there already, sometimes we start a wee bit later. But yeah, we are definitely early risers, and we've kept it up through lockdown as well. We're always the first two on the Microsoft Teams.
Yes, we are early. We are certainly early risers. I'm sorry, but I am taking that off Billy. We are earlier than Billy. If he comes into the office at before 10 a.m, it's a winner.
Lots and lots of questions coming in, really, that I could direct to you both. I'm just trying to pick up, just again being conscious of time and knowing we've got quite a few things to get through. I've got Mike Stewart asking sort of how much liquid you guys get to try. Obviously, being stuck in a marketing bubble and not perhaps involved with the liquid as much as others. You know, you've both given us your favourites so far. Fiona, what do you think? How, particularly the new single cask? Colette, showed the new packaging. I think the first one people are mentioning there is the Madeira, which the Madeira handfill, which has just been released in the last couple of days and will slowly be working its way to the market. Yeah. How much do you get to try?
So I've not actually tried any of the hand fills yet. I got a bottle of the very first hand fill on the first day of the Spirit Speyside, but I've sort of kept it as a, I don't know, just not a memorable thing, but I would like to know that that was the first ever hand fill at the GlenAllachie Distillery. So I've kept that one in the box, and the other ones have actually sold out so quick that I've not managed to get to the distillery to get one. But in terms of how much we get to try, I normally am in charge of pouring all of the samples. So any samples we send out to distributors or influencers, I always have to pour for the little sample bottles. So I get a little try of that. So yeah, we're quite lucky.
Yes, I remember back at the start before we launched the core range, just when we not long bought the distillery and things started ticking over, is Billy had us round the table and he had the core range or the potential core range, and we all sat and sampled and shared tasting notes and ideas and thoughts on the whiskey, which was exciting. So I would definitely say the opportunities there to sample more, and being behind the scenes. Yeah, you're right, we don't get the opportunity to dig into the whiskey quite the same way as you guys in sales, but when the opportunity does arise, we would jump at the chance. We do get the opportunity sometimes to travel, which is fantastic. That's part of the job that I can probably speak for both of us, where we really do enjoy it. So hopefully our sales director's listening in the background and can maybe work some magic when we can eventually travel. But no, it's good just to meet. I think for us it's good just to meet the consumer. It's good meeting the consumer. It's good meeting you guys, because we like to bounce ideas off you. I find at festivals I've got something brewing, maybe chat to you guys, see what you think about it. So yeah, just conscious of time now because I'm aware you guys have still got some tastings to do.
No, I think I've completely lost you there, Colette. Didn't catch that. Got one last question that I think we can finish on, which is a question for all three of us. It's next expression that you're looking forward to the most, or looking forward to selling the most. I'll start off by saying, for me, it's got to be the long-awaited spirit-based release. I'm quite excited because I get to release it into the UK market, and it is now. I can confirm it's a question we've had every single week. I can confirm it's coming. We're talking to the bottlers about getting the bottling hall reopened, and hopefully within the next few weeks. So watch this space. I'll start with Colette first. Over to you. What are you looking forward to selling most or launching most? Because obviously it's you guys that do the development to launch the new products.
I would say I probably speak for Fiona and I when we say white heather. When the time finally comes, it's one that, and you guys know that we've been working on. We purchased white heather along with McNear's and GlenAllachie back, feels like a lifetime ago. And Fiona and I have been working tirelessly on it, and just due to the COVID situation, it's been postponed slightly. But that will be a fantastic one to launch. There's actually, for me, the list is as long as my arm. There's so many new products, so many new projects I'm working on at the moment that I can't wait for you guys to see. So watch this space.
Yes, I'd agree with Colette. I very much look forward to the day that we can see white heather on the shelves. I started 2 years ago, and I think the hope was that we would have it out and ready, but it just, yeah, it'll be really good once it is ready and on the shelves. I think it'll be a really proud moment to see something that I've worked on. Colette's worked on everything so far. All of the core range has all been Colette's, so it's exciting to be part of this White Heather project and help Colette with it. So it'll be nice to see that on the shelves. I think Ben has actually forgot that he's muted. He needs to unmute himself.
Ben has indeed forgotten that he's muted. And Ben was saying, I suppose that's a good point to kick you two out and bring in David, Sales Director, where over the next sort of half an hour or so, we will go through 2 of our wood finishes from last year. And obviously, it's a really good opportunity for you guys out there watching to throw loads of questions at our Sales Director. I mean, you know, we get questions every week. We can't always answer them. I'd like to say that he's the man that can, just to put a bit of pressure on him. And say thank you very much to Colette and Fiona. Thank you for joining me. And
Thanks,
see you
guys.
again soon. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We're just not doing it quite as quickly as I'd like it to. David, I believe you're on mute.
Yes, I put it on. I put it on mute. I saw a few comments there about feedback on sound, so I know you guys are going to blame me for that and my legendary technological abilities. So, yes, I'm off mute now. Do you want me, Ben? Do you want me to start with the
most of
again, a little bit of delay, a little bit of feedback. I certainly hope that's not from my end. Let's do this. So my name's David.
I'm really good.
Sales and marketing. Quickly, before we try some of the whiskies that we're going to taste tonight, just want to quickly say thank you to the marketing guys. That was a fantastic insight, and I think sometimes we lose sight of the work that goes on behind the scenes to actually get Billy's choices, Billy's selections from barrel and into bottle. I think sometimes we forget a huge amount of work and NPD goes on behind the scenes, pulling everything together from corks to label design, everything. It's a massive effort of coordination, revisiting, pulling it all together. So I just wanted to quickly say thanks to the marketing for that. So first whiskey we are going to try tonight is Koval Rye. Okay, the rye finish. So this one, our core range came out, was bottled in June and released in July 2018. This wood finish we're going to try tonight, the Koval Rye, the 8-year-old, 48%. This was our first wood finish release. So it was cast, specially selected by Billy, where he felt that the secondary cask maturation would give a little bit of balance, flavour extension, and take it on a new journey. And the interesting thing about this rye, initially, Koval used a 100% rye mash bill, so it really got a lot of spice. So it's 48%, until filtered, natural colour, like all the GlenAllachie whiskies. So this was last year's release, so there's not much left out there in the market, but I think I'll answer one of the questions that keeps coming up about what's the favourite GlenAllachie. 10-year-old cask strength or this 8-year-old Koval Rye. Fine. Do you have any questions, Ben, or do you want me to just keep rambling on?
No, I'm happy for you to keep rambling on. I'm just watching a couple of comments coming up at the side saying Ben should maybe turn off Wi-Fi devices. So that's me turning my phone off, making sure this is off, that's off, and just trying to improve my signal quality. Bad. I can only apologise. It's been fine to date, but obviously not this time. Anyway, you were saying.
Well, if you want, I can answer one of the questions you directed to the guys earlier on. How did I get into the whiskey industry? Long story. I've been an electrician. I worked in forestry. I actually had a bad accident in forestry. Went to university, and I started as a part-time sales assistant to help fund my way through university. I started as a part-time sales assistant in the whiskey shop in Edinburgh, and it almost was. I knew that this is what I want to do. This is, having gone from job to job. This was. It just all fell into place, and that would have been, I think, maybe the late 90s. I think that was mid 90s. So sales assistant, and then from there I did a year at United Distillers, back to the whiskey shop, across to Bruichladdich and Aaron's UK distributor, then across to Bruichladdich itself, and then over to Benria. And that was where I got to know Billy well. And I'd known Billy for many years through my whiskey shop days. Great character, a whiskey legend. And I actually got the chance to work with them. And then from Benria, moved across to GlenAllachie. And I'm just looking at some of the questions that's popping up up on the side. How do I switch that off, Ben? Okay, so yeah, now it's
the simple answer is if you don't read it out, I will.
What's that, sorry, Ben? Oh, again, I apologies.
I think the simple answer is you don't. And if you don't read it out, I will.
What's that? The one about my hair?
Yeah.
Listen, one of the other questions you asked the guys is how is lockdown going for everybody? I can honestly say my hair's getting far too long. Gosh, I almost showed my bald patch there. I'm eating too much. I'm drinking too much. Thankfully, I have Ivy Distillery dog to give me an excuse to get out and about. I live in a nice bit of Edinburgh, and there's lots of nice walks out and about there. So yeah, it's challenging. I think I feel more for the lockdown I miss my local pub, Shooters. Great venue, great for locals, great for tourists. I miss things like that, but we just have to keep working through it. I believe, I must admit, I kind of stopped watching the news because it's a little bit depressing. But I do believe that there is exit plans getting formulated, so that hopefully we can, I'll not say back to normal, but hopefully we can get things moving again for businesses and for people. Ben, I think I'm just going to keep talking and answering the questions because we're getting a little bit of, I think it is your Clockwork broadband out in Thornhill, so we're getting a little bit of feedback. So if it works, and it doesn't get too boring for everybody, I can answer the questions, and if I miss any, feel free to cut in. I saw another question there. Ralphie.com. Someone mentioned the impact of Ralphie.com. For those of you that may not be aware, Ralphie is a vlogger, I believe is the technical term. And he has something like 140,000 followers across the globe. And he's a great whiskey connoisseur. He's been doing it for many, many years. And last year he picked GlenAllachie 12-year-old as his whiskey of the year. For him, it pushed all the buttons: flavour, unsure filtered, 46%, etc. And I think for us as a company, as a new start company, it certainly put us on the map a little bit with a certain section of whiskey aficionados. So yes, that was very. It was good. It was good to see that. Ralphie is a whiskey drinker, so it was good to see that recognition. What else do I have jotted down there? Spirit of Speyside. I think Ben touched on that. Like most businesses in the UK or across the world, we're having challenges with dry goods, logistics, everything. So our Spirit of Speyside bottling hasn't been bottled yet. What we think we may do, it will all depend, but we will plan to bottle it as soon as we can, and we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel there. And we will bring that out to market. And I think we've got a plan for giving people access to that, and we'll cover on that in a little bit more detail or further down the line. What was the other question I saw? And I think something Colette mentioned. The hand fills, the distillery hand fills, the new packaging. The distillery shop is closed, so we made a decision to support some of our local retailers. And some of you may be aware that something's going on behind the scenes there, that you can actually access this. We'll have a little bit more information about this coming up in the next few weeks. But there is, with the new packaging and the little initiative we've got on, there is something happening there. Okay, I've got another question coming up here. Can you give us the main difference in the cask makeup? Okay, so it's a question from Michael. So that whiskey we tried was, or I tried, I'm not sure if you guys tried it, I did, was 8-year-old Koval Rye. Now, that was a quarter cask released last year. This year, we're about to bring out, or in fact it has indeed been just released, a 9-year-old rye. So to answer your question, no, there's no Koval casks in the new release, Mike. It's a different distillery, which unfortunately we can't name, but it's bold and punchy from Kentucky. So if you stick that in Google, you might be able to identify it. Okay. I didn't envisage myself having a monologue for half an hour when I came on here, so I am. I'll just keep talking and going. Single cask for Scandinavia. Someone else asked that. There are single casks planned coming out, a little special release, specially selected by Billy. The demand for the single casks is high, but we try to make our single casks for drinking. So we try and get them out to all the markets and all the people that are looking for them. It might sound bizarre, but we don't actually want to see our casks ending up that we release it on Monday and then Tuesday it's in an auction for 5-10 times the price. We want our whiskey to be drunk. We are certainly not in that looking for chasing auctions. Okay, I'm just looking through the questions here. I'm just going to ignore the ones about my ear.
Can everybody hear me better now?
Sorry, Ben.
I was saying sorry for disappearing on you there. Can everybody hear me better now? I've literally just sprinted around the house turning off everything.
I can hear you loud and clear, Ben, and I think it's just in time because I'm sure people were getting bored listening to me talking on.
Thank God. I'll remember that for next time. Right, sorry, David, where did you get to? Because I missed that last bit running.
Oh, I have no idea. I lost my place altogether. I had covered a little bit. I'd answered the question about why I answered about single casks for Scandinavia, single casks in general. I'd answered Ralphie.com, and I talked on a little bit about my history in
Okay. We've got a question coming from Stuart Burness asking, are you looking at any lockdown tasting kits for fans? So I know that, am I speaking out of turn? Did Fiona mention this? I know that we are running a competition for an upcoming tasting that we have, whereby it's the new wood finishes, some new releases that we have coming up, which basically the prize is to win a tasting pack, and you can taste along with Billy. Billy will be appearing live on a Thursday night. If my connection stays as bad as it was earlier, not with me. So we are doing that. We are looking at other ways of doing it, but it's difficult. I think, all of our bottling lines and things at present are closed. So trying to get tasting kits and tasting packs done, our office is closed. When we don't have access to these places, it's become very, very difficult. I know some other companies have done them. However, they either bottle in-house or sometimes have them pre-made up. So, David, I know you were tasting the 8-year-old Koval.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we move on to the 10-year-old pot?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, with the first one, 8-year-old rye. This one is again from the previous last year's release, and this is a portwood finish, port pipe, ruby port from memory. So quite a young, vibrant port. A lot of colour, if you can see that in my screen. 48% again. This one's got the classic. The GlenAllachie heather honey is there, but it's got a lot of richness, fruitiness. Rosehip, chocolate, yeah, a lot of fruit going on in there. Complete contrast to the rye, the spiciness of the rye. This one is more rounder, richer, and fruitier. Just, would I pick a favourite from tonight? I would probably go back to the 8-year-old rye. I think at the moment, and my flavour preferences change. I go from various to looking for cherry bomb, port pipe, or whatever. This is drinking very well tonight. I think for me, the rye has a lovely spice, almost like a summer drink. Almost like you could maybe see that in a highball. Good splash of soda, a bit of ice.
See, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say that I love that summer fruit characteristic, with sort of strawberries, raspberries coming through from the port pipes. Yeah, for me, it's the 10-year-old port.
Well, do you know, Ben? But that is the wonder of whiskey, isn't it? The absolute wonder of whiskey. Everyone has their own opinion, their own preference. And do you know what? Maybe we could do this again tomorrow night or next week, and maybe the preferences would have been reversed.
Yeah, definitely. I can't say I don't like the rye. I just prefer the port tonight. And life would be boring if we did the same thing.
The rye was quite interesting when we first brought it out. I think it's almost fair to say it was a love it or hate it whiskey for a lot of people. Those that liked it went for it big style. It was they really bought into it. Those that didn't get it, wasn't for them, just couldn't take it at all. But it's certainly one of my favorites.
No, definitely. Really good question coming in on the podcast, and one for you, because I don't know the answer to this. And it's, can you tell us which port supplier you use?
I would love to, but unfortunately, a lot of the wineries are quite protective about the brand, about their name, and we have conversations with them and say, look, we've bought your cask, we've got the relationship. Can we answer that very question. Can we use the name? And I think most of the time they would be quite happy to. There's always a kind of a legal issue, and they're concerned that something. Ultimately, they're not in control of doing it. So, but unfortunately, I'm not in a position to answer that. But I can say it's European oaks from Douro Valley. It is one of the premium port houses, but they've just requested that we don't name the winery. So sorry.
That's fair enough. I suppose I've got a question for you, and that question would one that Ronan and Juliet were answering last week, and it kind of follows on from what you were saying about how you got into the industry.
Sure.
What would be your favourite experience from your favourite whiskey experience? You know, having worked at Bruichladdich, then at Benriach Distillers, and now at GlenAllachie, covering all parts of the world.
It's hard to pick out one. I think possibly when maybe going back to my really early days in the whiskey shop, perhaps. Again, maybe 1996, 97, maybe something like that. And we actually went over to Islay. And I think it might even have been my first distillery visit and trip. And I just remember being taken by the magic of whiskey. We went to Bowmore Distillery actually. They looked after us. We were with Jim McEwen, which, you know, this is Scotland is a small place. Let me tell you, the whiskey industry is even smaller. You know, who was to know that 10, 15 years down the line, I would be working with Jim at Bruichladdich. So yeah, I think possibly that island. I think, you know, going up to GlenAllachie as well was pretty special. We went up just before everything was announced, and we went up to take some photographs for launch publicity or whatever. And I think just driving in through the gate and driving alongside, you know, for those of you that's been to GlenAllachie, it's a big old site. There's a lot of warehouses. So you come off the Elgin Road and you turn down and you just see the site opening up in front of you. And then you pull in and all the Pernod people, the Shivers people were there who were absolutely fantastic and very supportive. So it was still their site. It's still their distillery. But you kind of thought, gosh, in a few days' time, this will be ours to go and run with. So that was quite a special experience as well. And I'll just quickly follow up. Getting inside some of those warehouses with Billy and Richard and Lindsay, and walking down through them, you know, this is we've got something here.
I love the banter that's going on in the background in the chat from some of the other guys in the industry who are goading you a little bit. So we've got for you, saying that your favorite whiskey experience is knowing him.
Who's that? I'm trying to tune out the hecklers, Ben.
A great question come in from Phil Dixon, and again, it's one tailored to yourself. But how do you go about selecting? So I take it it's specific whiskies for specific markets.
Well, we do. You know, we're a very small company and we're very interactive with our customers. So we will do things hand in hand with them. Sometimes if it's for the UK, for example, and we're bottling a selection of single casks, Billy will pick the casks and say, you know what, this is what we have available. And Billy and myself will have a chat and the rest of the team about what we think would work for the UK. So that's a little bit more driven by us. And similarly, if we do a batch release for Europe, but some of the things we do is more driven by the customer and by the consumers. The whiskey drinker tells their retailer, tells their distributor what they're looking for, and they come to us and say, "This is what we're looking for. Can you make it happen?" And I think we drive Colette and Fiona demented with our our thoughts processes, and can you do this and can you do that, and by the way, we need it in 2 months' time. But we can be very proactive, and very, so a lot of it is selected, it's driven by what people out there want to drink. But that's a great question.
Another one coming in, and again, this is something that I've been sort of pushing over the last couple of weeks, but probably more directed at you, that somebody that has something a little bit more control over what's coming into the sales stream. But from Bass Bowden saying, are you going to be bottling more of the, and he gives the specific cask number of 901037, which I know is the 05 sherry butt hand fill, because he says he loves those Glendronach-like taste / sort of Oloroso, you know, the heavy sherry monsters that last one has.
Yeah, well, I'm always conscious of trying not to to jump the gun. Given the success of the hand fills, and again, seeing the reaction from the consumers, what do people want to drink? I think the simple answer to that is yes. Watch this space. Okay. Fantastic.
Got to read this one because there's got to be a reason behind it. But Alistair Walker saying, serious question for David. What's your favourite whiskey festival and why?
I think my favourite whiskey festival, I'm going to pick two. Am I allowed to pick two, Alistair? I'm going to say there's a lot out there. There's a lot in the UK and a lot in Scotland. When I worked for Brewfaddy and Arms UK distributor, Scotland and the north of England was my patch. Incidentally, the distributor was London based, so their idea of the north went down as far as Luton, and that's honestly my area. Scotland went that far down. Favorite whiskey, I think Whisky Fringe, Royal Mile Whiskies, Whisky Fringe. You know, it was one of the first ones I went to, I think, as a distributor. It might even be the first one. So it's always got a spot. Robbie's Drams is a good one. TB Watson is another good one. The Whisky Exchange. Oh no, actually, I tell you what one does it. The Grapevine. The food at the Grapevine, the whisky event in London. Best food ever for a whisky festival. And abroad, I'm going to pick one this year. I think it was Victoria Whisky Festival. I'd never done a whisky festival in Canada, and I was over there at the same time as Megan and Harry, funnily enough. We didn't catch up for a dram of GlenAllachie, unfortunately. That was a good one. I enjoyed the Victoria Whisky Festival.
Okay, I think we've got time for one or two more questions. Again, like every Thursday night, we can't answer all the questions because we are limited for time. And we've got the NHS initiative, the NHS clap at 8 o'clock. So we do all make our way to our front doors and get out there and show our support. So, you know, I'm conscious we've only got the sort of 6 or 7 minutes left. So another good question I think that's come in is what are the stock levels like for the core range, and could there be a change to the core range?
We'll continue to evaluate that. At the moment, there's no plans for changing the core range. We've got 10-year-old cask strength, batch release, 12, 15, 18, 25. There will be additions coming on here and there, limited releases. Part of the core range, annual, ongoing releases, but perhaps just a little bit more limited. But we do, there's one or two expressions in that range that we just have to keep an eye on, just around kind of 15, around the 18-year-old, we have to kind of keep an eye on that one, and some of the 25. But it's, on the whole, we are tremendously fortunate with the stock profile we have. Age, quality, depth of expression. We're very fortunate.
Okay, no, that's great to hear, and all very positive. I think something that we have to spend a couple of minutes talking about, particularly bearing in mind so many of our sort of followers and watchers have mentioned it down the side, is about the hand fills, the distillery exclusives, and the NHS initiative that we have running at present. which ties in nicely with the clap, which will be happening in the next 5 minutes, is that to both support small independents and local sort of Scottish retailers, but also to try and keep the industry going and bring about something different. We have launched both a series of hand fills, which can be found through a number of retailers. I won't name one or the other just for fairness sake, but they are out there. Whereby these are distillery exclusives. These are things that you would only ever be able to pick up at the distillery, but unfortunately with our distillery shop being closed, we've offered them out to small retailers to try and help the independents and really keep them going. But in addition to this, on every single bottle sold, we are giving £10 or donating £10 to NHS Grampian. And David, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in particular Dr. Gray's Hospital in Elgin. Yep. Just to show our support for the NHS, particularly in the area around the distillery where most of the team that produce GlenAllachie live, work, and are from. You know, I highly recommend having a look for these expressions. They are absolutely fantastic. I've been fortunate enough this morning to run through a few of them. And it's worth pointing out that we will be doing a Thursday night session where I promise I will have an Ethernet cable plugged into my laptop and boost my Wi-Fi long in advance of. We will be doing a Thursday night session whereby we will run through these whiskies and talk a little bit more about it in a few weeks. I think TBC, but certainly within me, I think it's fair to say. David, have you got anything to add about those?
Just on that NHS thing, when I spoke to the people at Grampian Health Board, it specifically goes, our contribution specifically goes on support packages for the staff at the Dr. Gray's in Elgin. So it's going directly to the guys on the front line, and we're absolutely delighted with that. And thanks for anybody that has participated in this and help to the local retailers, and thank you very much.
Yeah, no, and I think now, 2 minutes before the end is a great time to sort of cut off. Give me a chance to run to my front door, get the pots and pans out, and I will hopefully catch up with you all within a couple of weeks when I promise my connection will be better. I am so sorry for this evening.
Ben, thank you very much for hosting, and thank you everyone else for joining in. All the best.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Good night.